If you've removed gluten, dairy, and sugar, and you're still bloated, this video is for you. Now hear me out. You gotta first look at what is going on, what you're putting in your mouth, and how your body's reacting to it if you're dealing with bloating. That is usually the #1 cause for bloat. Now, if you've done that and you've removed it for at least 3 weeks, because that's the minimum, it does take time for our body to adapt and ultimately figure out how to function and what's going on. So if you've done that and you didn't see any benefit and you've looked into digestive enzymes, meaning you know that you have enough stomach acid, you know that you have enough digestive enzymes to properly break down your food, then you might be dealing with sluggish lymph. Now, I know what you're saying. You might be like, what the heck? Dr. Caitlin, what are you talking about? Everybody I know that has congested lymph, I can see the fluid retention, right? They have swollen arms, they have swollen feet, they have lymphedema, they have lipedema. Like, I can visually see it. What the heck are you talking about bloating and lymphatic congestion? I know, it's kind of crazy, but roughly 70% of our lymph is in our gut or around our gut. Remember, our lymphatic system is part of our immune system, and we have lots of lymphatic vessels around our digestive system. Now, part of the lymphatic system is actually absorbing and transporting dietary fats. What? Most people don't talk about that, and most people don't even know that that's a thing that the lymphatic system does. Yep. When we eat quality fats or just fats in general, our body doesn't absorb it into the bloodstream. Why? The particles are just too big. So what happens is the lymphatic system has these specialized little fingers called lacteals. And what they do is they suck up the dietary fat and transports it, it's called then chyli, transports it up to the cisterna chyli, which is one of the spots that can be super tender, which is right between our xiphoid process, our breastbone, the tip of our breastbone, and our belly button, halfway in the middle. That part is usually pretty tender. Why? There's usually a lot of inflammation, a lot of congestion, a lot of bloating in that area. And so as the chyli is moving up, it moves up through our thoracic duct and drains into our blood supply at our left collarbone, left termini. The problem is if we have congested lymph, that lymphatic fluid isn't moving and it isn't draining properly, which then causes bloating. Yes. And again, part of what can cause bloating, not necessarily just the food we eat, it can also be hormone shifts. But remember, our lymphatic system also helps transport and move certain hormones, especially progesterone. So if you are somebody that has a lot of bloating, I'm going to highly suggest that you do these couple things. One, obviously, make sure you chew your food to an applesauce consistency so that your stomach doesn't have to put as much work in, so that the digestive system can then go and continue to break it down, absorb the nutrients in the correct place that it needs to happen. The next thing I'm going to highly recommend that you do is slow down. When we're eating, if we're eating on the go and we're just trying to shovel food in between meetings, or we're running from room to room while trying to eat a sandwich or whatever it may be, we got to slow down. You are definitely not in a parasympathetic state if you are go, 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 go. Remember, parasympathetic is rest, digest, and drain. Your body cannot digest food if it feels like you're constantly stressed out. So my second tip is going to be sit down. Even if it's 10 minutes, sit down, slow down, eat your food. Your body will thank you because it will actually have an easier time processing and digesting that food that you are eating. The third thing I'm going to highly recommend that you do is practice diaphragmatic breathing. Now you might be like, what in the world does diaphragmatic breathing have to do with bloat? I'm going to tell you. Diaphragmatic breathing is the only thing that is going to move your lymphatic fluid that is produced or accumulated from your belly button down to your toes. Diaphragmatic breathing is what is going to act like a suction. Because remember, our lymph system does not have a pump of its own. Our diaphragm acts as a pump, and what it does is it helps pull all of that lymphatic fluid up into the thoracic duct, which is ultimately this big long tube that runs along our spine and drains up at our left collarbone. The problem is if we're not diaphragmatic breathing, we are not acting, or we're not creating that suction, we're not creating that pump. So then we're not properly draining the lymph, which can then create bloating. So try taking 3 diaphragmatic breaths after you're done eating. What I want you to imagine is that your stomach is coming out, and then right after your tummy has expanded as far as it can, then your rib cage is going to expand all the way out, like 360 degrees. When that happens, you are activating your diaphragm. And then what you're going to do is you're going to exhale completely and then do it again. What you want to do is you want to do the breathing for a 4-count inhale, ideally through our nose, and then minimally a 6-count, ideally an 8-count exhale, because that longer exhale is going to help shift you into a parasympathetic state. Remember, rest, digest, and drain. We need to be in parasympathetics in order for our body to properly digest our food and to properly drain. The other thing, the last thing that I'm going to recommend you do, number 4, the specific 7 at minimum once a day. What I have people do when they have severe bloating, I have them do it before they eat. It doesn't take much time. 10 seconds per area. And what they notice over time when they start to get their lymph flowing, they feel so much better. They have less bloat, less congestion, and they don't get that overextended feeling when they're done eating. They feel full, but they don't feel like, oh gosh, like I'm uncomfortable. So what I would love for you guys to do is give those all a try for at least 21 days and see what happens. I'd love for you to come back and let me know your experience, because I know that what I've been told from not just my clients that I've worked one-on-one with, but with the hundreds of thousands of people that, have been following me on social media, that this has been a game changer for a lot of people. All right. Thanks so much for being here. And as always, happy draining.